Hi everyone! It's so good to be back with another parent story. We've got one of our patients inside the Settle Baby plan. Well, we have just finished, and she has agreed to come on and share her story. And I was just saying to my husband, I'm so grateful that people are willing to come on and share their story. That means a lot. We've got so many videos now on YouTube, on everywhere, where parents are telling their story of how it was to work with us inside the Settle Baby plan. And I think we've got Alisha. And she's here. I'm so excited. I'm so grateful. You taking your time out to. Anyway, hi. I think we have.
Hello,
Hi,
you okay?
Alisha. Good to see you. I was just
You
saying
too.
to everyone, I'm so grateful for you making your time. You have a little one and you're still here. So thank you.
Oh, it's fine, don't worry.
Thank you, Alicia. So this is really for you to tell your story because it was a bit of a difficult time with baby Shiloh at the beginning.
Yes.
And I really want parents to understand, what they can expect inside the Settle Baby plan, because I
Okay.
think that's the main aim. I just want parents to understand they don't have to suffer. They don't have to suffer, and they don't have
No.
to do it on their own and all of that. And we met each other a few months ago and we have finished.
Yeah.
But I would love for you to maybe explain, how we met and what's been happening. Let's go
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah, no problem. So Shiloh, from the moment he was born, I could just tell by the way he was taking his bottle that something was wrong. And then obviously you got to go to the hospital for checkups and da and only very small. And all the healthcare professionals were saying there was nothing wrong with him. Um, and then zoom forward to him being a month old. He was diagnosed with CMPA at the hospital. And that should have been the answer. That should have been everything. That should have helped. But it didn't because there was no help. No one had the knowledge of the right formulas. And so many different people were saying so many different things. And in all of that, I had a baby that was suffering. I had a baby that was struggling. I was struggling because I'd never had a baby before, and I definitely never experienced anybody with any allergies. Um, I've been following you very closely. TikTok search CMPA, and you just popped up. And I was watching you for a few months, and I just thought, it's getting to the point now where it's unbearable. I can't do any more. I've been backwards and forwards to doctors. There's not enough knowledge there, and everywhere I turn, he was feeding so badly at the time. They thought he had a tongue tie. We went to get that checked. It wasn't a tongue tie. So things have got really out of hand. Tried all sorts of different formulas, as you well know, and nothing was helping. And then we arrived to you, very desperate. Um, and then, so yeah, that's how we got to you.
And it was, I still remember when we first met because
Oh,
my memories are like, I have a good memory, but also because I see the worst of the worst and I see what parents are just stressed out and frustrated. Um,
mm,
and what we did, you were definitely a good candidate for the Settle Baby plan because, we did
yes,
our call first, didn't we? And we discussed how it all works.
yeah,
Because it has to be right for the parent and for
yeah,
us as well to make sure
yeah,
we're giving the best care. And then we just went for it, didn't we, Alicia?
we
We
did.
we started so we use a 3P framework where it's basically a step-by-step guide to really getting to understand what's going on with the baby. And we did that with baby Shiloh. And we changed the formula quite quickly, didn't we?
We did. Yeah,
And then we did the intense monitoring.
yes.
And then 2 weeks in, we changed the formula again
For the final time.
for the final. So we changed it twice, which is actually the max we ever do. We never change it more than twice.
Yes.
And he did get better on the first formula, but not to the extent we wanted to. And because of the intense monitoring, we
Mm,
really were on top of that. So the suffering, that's the whole aim, is to reduce time in suffering.
Yes.
can you tell people a little bit about that, Alicia, if you
Yeah.
don't mind?
So because Shiloh was 3 months when he come to you, and I'm only verbatim giving back what you've said to me. So because his body had built up with the proteins, um, it was going to take a time to calm it all down. But because he had 3 months of exposure to lots of different kinds, um, Shiloh was still very symptomatic for a while, and then all of a sudden he just started to die down. But for Shiloh, I think the worst part was instantly, as soon as he would start to feed, as
Yes.
soon as that teat would touch his mouth, it just got to the point where it was a screaming episode. He was cramping, he was going red, he was sweating profusely. Um, but we didn't quite get to the blood in the stools. We didn't quite get to those things. And that's where there was a lot of mixed reviews. And healthcare professionals were saying, well, it can't be this, it can't be that, it can't be the other. So the suffering um, was because his body had all this in it. It took a
Mm,
while but once he got on the right formula, although it took a while to settle, it was a massive change. As soon as he took that first sip of that correct formula, I could just see him feeding very differently. He went from a baby that appeared to have a tongue tie, he didn't, to taking the bottle like a child should take a bottle. So yeah.
yes. Yes. No, it was a major transformation, wasn't it,
Oh,
Alicia?
massive.
Um, and uh, and it was, it is, as you probably can see now, is because parents often ask what's the best formula for their babies, and I always say it really depends on your baby and what we see and what we gather from our assessments.
Yeah.
And you had the milk delivered to your door, because that's the thing, your formula is delivered to your door, a prescription is done. For
Yeah.
international clients, is different. We
Hmm.
unfortunately can't do prescriptions internationally, but we still guide on the best formula. And what happened then? So then we got him settled on his new formula,
We
and then it
did.
was time to wean.
Yes. So that was an approach that I'd never heard of before. The way of weaning with Shiloh. Um, it was very full of vitamins, very packed with real food. So I've had to cook all the time. But
I'm sorry, I think I gave you so much work.
no, because it's pointless. And I would say this to anybody who's watching and to anybody who watches this after. It's pointless wanting to get your baby better with just formula because actually the diet matters a lot as well as the formula. Um, so I think it's having a balance for you. But then we started introducing with food very slowly,
Because he
and
was
then
ready, because he was
we,
ready, and
oh,
because
very.
and obviously we make that judgment, isn't it? So we gave you the
Yes.
green light to say, Alicia, it's time to start.
Yes, yes. So he was ready, and he took to it very quickly, didn't he? Okay, there were some flavors and tastes he didn't clearly like, um, but he was swallowing very well. He had good neck control, and he was ready. He was ready for that
He
next
was
step.
so ready. He was so ready. So that's stage two in the settle baby plan. When we get, so whether you're breastfeeding or formula feeding, obviously we want you to have a settle baby first. And then once
Yep.
we settle your baby, then obviously the next stage is weaning.
Yes.
And that is also a big part of this journey, isn't it? How did you find that? How would it have been without a dietitian on board, you
Oh.
think, we?
you know,
Yeah.
there's so much about this journey. I think unless you are a parent to a baby that's got allergies, you won't know every time you're going to introduce something new. That could be an allergen or just something new. You won't know how. Oh, you're thinking, please, I can't reverse this story. He's got to keep well because it took so long to get them well. So, there's that. There's the fear of, am I going to reverse everything? So without you, I'd have been living in just complete fear um, and not really know what to do for the best. So I would probably be making it up as I go along. And I probably wouldn't have started with the foods you started me on.
Okay.
Um,
Yes, yes.
what I'd have probably have started with the atypical baby cereals.
Yes, I see. I see. Mm. Oh,
Yeah.
can you hear me?
So yes, that's got it went, but it's back again. So yeah, I think with you then, what changed everything was I didn't have to know the answers. I didn't
Mm.
have to know. I know I didn't. I didn't know. I still don't know the answers. Um,
Yeah.
but I didn't have to know. I didn't have to know
Mm.
how much to give him. I didn't have to know the best way to prepare it. I didn't even have to know when was the right time to introduce something else, um, because you was there every single day, checking in, checking to see how he was, and checking to see if he enjoyed it.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. It's
Keen on wanting to know whether he enjoyed his food, um, overall, not just whether he was well, as in his guts. You was interested whether he's actually enjoying his food.
Yeah, well, that's equally important, isn't it? Because children with food allergies can develop food aversions later in life and feeding difficulties, and we just want them to be happy, healthy, enjoy their food, you know?
Yes, and
So,
now I have you to thank for Shiloh having a very rich diet. Um,
great, great.
he likes all sorts of food, so yeah, he's done very well.
So great, so great. Yeah, I think weaning Shiloh, there was quite a few things that we also identified were triggering his eczema, wasn't it,
That's right.
Alicia? And what? How
Yes,
did you find that quite surprising, didn't you? With there was quite a
yeah,
few
yeah.
there. Mm,
It. I think you you don't realize, um, because I went to the doctor very red and sore.
hmm.
Um, and they said it was dribble rash. And because I was working with you, I was mindful. And then he had come out in all eczema and da 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 da. And I just said to the doctor, he said, "There's stuff, give it to him. Put it all over his body." Um, and I said, "Something he's eating." He said, "No." I said, "It is. It's what's going in there." I said, "I'm telling you, it is." I said, "I'm going to prove it." And then we worked together, didn't we? And I raised it and I said, "It could be one of two things." And we had that conversation, that it could have been one or two.
Yeah,
Um, and then we identified it, didn't we?
we did. We did.
So now I'm slowly working that said thing back into his diet, slowly.
Brilliant. Yes, yes. I mean, food doesn't cause eczema, but it can
Oh,
definitely trigger it. And I'm so
yeah,
passionate about getting in there and
yeah,
helping parents to identify, okay, but then not just eliminate, sometime at some point put it back in, because it's not just about taking stuff out.
no,
So
no,
we managed to do that, but there was quite a few foods there, wasn't there, initially, that he was
mm,
reacting to. And it is very, weaning an allergy baby is not straightforward. There is a lot to consider, isn't there, Elise?
yeah,
Um,
yeah, there
and
is.
and and how is Shiloh now? How is he now?
Shiloh is just doing unbelievably well. We've been on holiday, and he was everyone's favourite on holiday
I bet.
because honestly, you know, no one could believe how he could eat for his age.
Oh,
So
really?
it can, yeah, it can chew meat. You know, he, he was having lamb, and he was having some chips, and he was having all the butter beans and things we've worked together to get him to have, and he was having chicken gyros, and he was having all sorts of things. Um, Mindful of his
Brilliant.
allergies and mindful of just to try, and not giving them things, but Shiloh can eat better than me. He was
Yeah.
sat at the table and was bringing him child's portions at the restaurants, and he was eating it and he was chewing, and everyone was like, "How old is he?" I said, "8 month old." They said, "No way. Does an 8 month old eat like that?" I said, "Well, he does. He does."
Fantastic. Yeah, I think,
Yeah.
we did push forward, didn't we? We think we introduced all food allergens by 7 months, didn't we? I think.
Yeah, we
Um,
did. Yeah.
so it has to be done before age 1, introducing food allergens. But we just like to get it done when the baby is ready, and we managed that. And I'm so glad he's a happy and healthy baby that loves his food, you know. And then we
Definitely.
also prepared you for the milk ladder, because with the settle baby
Yeah.
plan, once we've got a settle baby, we help you with weaning, then we prepare you for the milk ladder. We don't support you all the way through the milk ladder because that's a whole nother program. But we are
Yeah.
there to help you and give you a plan of our clinical judgment to what you need. So you've got that as well, don't you, Alicia?
Yeah. And I'm also mindful that it's not linear.
Yes.
So you can get to step two and then slide back down again. So I'm mindful of that. We've got that to look forward to next month,
Yeah.
because it'll be 9 months next month. But I feel prepared. I feel, with working with you, I just it gives confidence, and that's what I would just like to say on this platform. Really, you know,
Mhm. Mhm.
before I was with you under your care, well, Shiloh under your care, but you also had me under your care as well. Before I was under your care, it was definitely like was in the wilderness. There was
Mhm.
no answers. There was no correct anything. It was all very trial this for a month and come back. And then
Yeah.
you've got a baby that's suffering, you're suffering.
Mm.
But then part of what you said when we first had that 15-minute conversation, you said, I will deal with all that. I'll write a letter to the doctors. I will prescribe. I was like, right, I'm definitely going with you now. Because it
Yes.
took away that pressure of having to fight.
Yeah.
You just get sick of fighting. So now I know the process of the milk ladder.
Mhm.
Um, and we'll see how we get on.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I think that's what the Settle Baby Plan does, is that we really take the pressure off you, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
you can't be playing dietitian and doctor and nurse.
Well, you can't because you don't know, do you? Like
Yeah.
you you know, I
Exactly.
don't know, and not even many doctors knew. So
Yeah. 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 Oh, I think we lost you there. Can you hear me, Alicia?
yeah, it keeps going in and out. I think is it my reception maybe?
It's okay. I think I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I just really want parents who are listening to this to know that, that it's legitimate good help you get through the Settle Baby Plan. There's nothing better than seeing a baby and following them through. And that's why we don't do one-off consultations, because do you see, if I'd done one-off consultation with you, you would have come back, wouldn't you? Numerous
Every day,
times.
every day.
Whereas with the Settle Baby Plan, you have that daily input. How did you feel about the daily input? Was it what you expected, or?
It was more.
Okay, great,
It
great.
was
That's
more.
what I want.
You
That's what I
don't, you don't expect to, and I mean this in a positive way. You don't
Yeah,
expect for someone to be ahead of you in the sense of you would message me as I was getting Shiloh ready in the mornings. You was ahead of the game. I'd say, right, what's the plan for the week? And you'd give me a plan for the week. You was every morning you'd check in, every afternoon, every evening in the very early stages. There was never really any moments where I felt like I wasn't supported.
amazing. I'm so glad. And that's the whole point. The level of input is also correlates to what a baby, when the baby is very unsettled, we are on top of you to make sure we settle your baby in 4 weeks or
That's right.
less, you know.
Yeah,
And initially, Shiloh needed a lot of, because everything was like chaotic, wasn't it?
it
And
was.
then
It
once,
was.
and then weaning at some point was also a bit chaotic because of his reactions. So,
Yeah,
I just want, and no parent is going to suffer inside the Settle Baby Plan, and no baby is going to suffer inside the Settle Baby Plan, because
we
baby
said,
and
didn't
parent,
we said, didn't we? Once we had a conversation, didn't we? And I just said part of the settled baby plan isn't just settling the baby. Majority of it is settling the parents.
it is. No, that's
It's
right.
man. It's true. It's managing expectations, isn't it?
Yes,
Because as a parent, you always want more for your child, um,
definitely.
and that can be a universal truth in anything. But
Mm,
you want your baby to be eating more, or to be drinking more milk, or to be able to have the things that it can't have just yet. And so you want to work 100 mile an hour, and your expectations need to be managed to where your child is. So I have had to learn how to adjust, you know, what's right for Shiloh, so what I really want for Shiloh in the long haul.
Yes, yes. I love that you brought that up, Alicia, because there are always a lot of questions, oh, how much milk and how much food? And I'm like, we try and teach the parent that we work with the child and we are, it's a collaborative approach. It's not about what the textbook says. It's
No,
reading your child. And it's a complete game changer when you do that, isn't it?
yeah, definitely,
So
definitely.
thank you, Alicia. Is there anything you want to say to any parent out there before we finish?
Yeah, it's CMPA and other allergies, they are real. And you don't have to do it on your own. You haven't got to struggle, you haven't got to suffer. Nishti and a team is there. So the best. You are the best. And I'm just very, very thankful for what you've done, and you've helped us so much. And, you know, thank you so much.
I'm grateful for you trusting me. I always say it's such a privilege that you trust me on this journey because it is 3 months, you
Yeah.
know, and I think that to me is like I'm also very thankful. So thank you, Alicia. And
No
I'm
problem.
sure we'll stay in touch and we want to see pictures of baby Shiloh.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, no problem. Yeah,
Thank
definitely.
you so much. I really appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
So this video will be shared on across all social media platforms. So thank you for consenting to that.
Yeah,
It will be on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and might be a parent somewhere who will feel inspired.
great. Thank you so much. Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you. Thank you, Alicia, so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye bye. So Alicia has left. I just want to say hi, everybody. And I'm so grateful when parents come on and do these videos. They don't have to. We don't force them. We don't force them. But it's so lovely. So thank you so much for the Settle Baby Plan. We've got 2 slots open for September. Yes, only 2, because all of them have almost sold out. So we've got 2 left. So anyone that's interested, please DM us the word choice to hear more. I'll see you all later. Bye.